like this maybe is not locking into place. Does it always do this?
Hi, I'm Bill. I'm a professional baker, and these are my $218 cupcake ingredients.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a home cook, and these are my $17 cupcake ingredients. No.
This is gonna be great.
Oh boy.
I was planning to make Gilded German chocolate cupcakes. The base of my cupcakes had gourmet chocolate, cocoa powder, and a shot of espresso.
Can I drink this or? No, we need it. We need it.
They were going to be filled with a coconut pecan caramel filling, topped with a luscious buttercream made with homemade chocolate pudding, and gilded with a totally unnecessary piece of gold leaf. Each sheet, while it is very small, is very expensive.
What's this? Oh no, oh no, oh now I understand what it is and I've made a horrible mistake. I don't know how to get it off.
With Emily's recipe, these ingredients are probably already in your pantry. They may be on the simple side, but with a little technique, we can make them better. If I had to guess, I would think these probably cost around $25. $17, that's a pretty good deal.
If I were gonna guess, I'd say maybe like $67. What? What, is the flour made from gold leaf too? What's going on here? So I have Chef Bill's recipe book. It's all ingredients and no recipe.
The base cake of this cupcake is a pretty standard cake recipe. The challenges will come down the road.
I'm not 1000% sure how the pudding is coming into play as of yet. Nope, now I am because it's chocolate pudding buttercream. Wait, what? Top to bottom, I need a little help here. Rose.
Hey, Emily, how are you? I heard you're making cupcakes.
I am. I'm making cupcakes with a really long name that I'm gonna have to actually open this thing up to tell you what it is. Gilded German chocolate cupcakes with coconut pecan caramel filling and chocolate pudding buttercream. I've made cupcakes. I don't know how to make these cupcakes.
So this is a German chocolate cake, delicious and moist. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your dry ingredients, that includes the cocoa powder, and you're gonna sift them together.
I never sift at home, especially because I only have a half-size dishwasher, and like these are such a pain in the butt to clean.
Then you're going to take your softened butter, add sugar.
I keep spilling just like a little bit of stuff. I think it's fine.
Start to beat that with the paddle attachment. It's gonna get really nice high volume. Add your eggs and vanilla. Mix it even more. You're gonna add your melted chocolate. Then you're gonna take your dry ingredients and you're gonna add them alternately with your mixture of milk, espresso, and sour cream.
Feeling good, batter up.
You can totally do this.
You always make me feel better. Bye. I'd say that's one good looking batter right there. Thanks, Rose.
Emily was going to be making a classic vanilla cake and chocolate frosting. Everyone loves a classic vanilla and chocolate combo, but I will be making a yellow cake marbled with chocolate cake with a vanilla Swiss meringue buttercream. We're gonna start with the cake batter, and I'm going to be using butter and oil as my fat base. So I get that butter flavor, but the moistness of the oil. So I'm gonna start by creaming this. That's perfectly room temperature. That's what you want. Add in my sugar. You really want this to be light and fluffy. If you don't cream your butter well enough, or if your butter is too cold, you're not gonna get the texture that you want out of the cake. You wanna scrape down the sides of the bowl to get all of these bits and pieces together. You want it to be homogenized, no chunks of butter, no chunks of sugar. Great, so a classic yellow cake has egg yolks in it in addition to whole eggs. These extra yolks are gonna add more fat, more flavor to the recipe. These egg whites I'm gonna hang on to because we're gonna use them later. I'm going to incorporate our eggs one at a time. This is essential. We're adding air to the cake batter, which is going to make it a lighter, more beautiful cake. I'm going to stream in my vegetable oil. The other great thing about adding oil to a cake is it extends the shelf life. This will stay moist for longer than if it was an all butter cake. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Pro tip, add your dries and the milk in 3 separate additions. If you add all of your dry at one time, you're gonna have to mix it longer to get those to mix in. If there are chunks of unincorporated ingredients, you're gonna have difference in textures that's gonna be really noticeable. This is our yellow cake, but we are gonna be marbling it, and I'm going to take a third of this batter and set it aside because this is going to become our chocolate cake. I don't wanna just mix dry cocoa powder into this, I wanna hydrate it a little bit. That's going to allow it to mix in more evenly, and I'm folding as I'm not like beating so that I'm not developing gluten and making a tough cake. We're making cake, not bread. Beautiful. We're ready to marble.
All right, so let's make this batter into cupcakes.
So now we'll fill our cupcake tins.
Okay, so I've got my scoop and we're ready to go. I'm assuming it's 1 scoop per cupcake. And you know what they say about assuming. It's a good idea.
So I'm going to be staggering scoops of vanilla and chocolate batter into our cupcake tins to create the marbled effect. I'm not technically marbling, which would be swirling them together, but because these are so small, I found that layering was a more impactful finish. Even if I'm doing one flavor of cupcakes, I always use a scoop.
I like this, it's got like a little thingy that goes back and forth.
It's tidy.
Just making a mess.
And you're also going to be having all of your cupcakes be the same size.
Do I think I'm getting these exactly even? No.
You don't want one huge cupcake and one tiny cupcake because then people will get into fights.
I'm going to try to even out this situation so it doesn't look so and looks a little more like you know? So I'm just gonna like whack these, give them a strong wiggle. I think we're ready.
There we go, all of our cupcakes.
Let's bake these guys.
I've got the oven preheated at 350 degrees. These are gonna go in for about 20 minutes.
I'm gonna bake them at 350 for about 25 minutes.
All right, the cupcakes are out of the oven.
And they look good, I think.
So you can see that there is a little bit of an unevenness because of the two different textures of the batter. That's absolutely fine. We're gonna ice these. You'll never see it. It's gonna be delicious.
All right, the next thing I have to do is make my filling. There's a lot of moving parts here.
Emily, you're making your cooked caramel filling. This is the exact recipe that my grandmother has used, my mother has used. It's a base of egg yolks,
Everyone loves egg yolks.
evaporated milk, butter, and brown sugar. Cooked until it's thick.
This is definitely getting thicker. And test. A little hot, but you get the idea. Look, see? It is hot.
The coconut and deeply toasted pecans are mixed into it and it's done.
Oh, that looks good. And there is the filling for my cupcakes.
In a typical classic German chocolate cake, that is your frosting, but I decided to make that the filling. So what are we gonna put on top of our cupcake? Emily was planning on using a chocolate American buttercream. American buttercream crusts, so it's great for making flowers and things like that need to have like sort of a structure. What I'm gonna do is use what she's given me to make a Swiss meringue buttercream. It's lighter, glossy, and really pretty. So to make a Swiss meringue buttercream, we start with egg whites. I saved 2 egg whites from before when we were making the cake. I'm gonna separate 4 other eggs, granulated sugar, and then we're gonna put this over simmering water. This is what we call a double boiler setup. It's a pot of simmering water and a bowl on top. You really wanna make sure that the bottom of the bowl is not touching the simmering water. You don't wanna make scrambled egg whites. I'm gonna take a little bit in my fingertips. It's totally dissolved. I can't feel any sugar at all in here. That means it's ready to go. And I will transfer this to the bowl of the mixer.
It's time for me to start making my buttercream. And the first thing that I'm gonna do to make my buttercream is, of course, make a pudding. As you do.
The pudding in the buttercream just makes it this luscious, silky buttercream that you're not getting just from butter and powdered sugar.
Have I made pudding before? The instant kind. Hey Rose, what am I doing here?
So for the pudding, it's simple, and I know you can do it. You're gonna take a little bit of cornstarch and a little bit of your milk and mix it together. That's gonna be your thickening agent.
I'm just whisking. Some whiskey business. Playing the game of whisk.
Then you're gonna take the rest of your ingredients and combine them and cook it low and slow until it gets nice and thick.
All right, I got it. So right now I'm just trying to get my pieces of chocolate to melt. So as long as I can find them in here, we're not ready.
The thing about making meringue, or really anything that you're beating air into, you want to start low and work your way up in speed. It will develop smaller air bubbles and create a more stable product. Swiss meringue is not for the impatient. Everyone can camp out. We're gonna be here for a while.
All right, chocolate appears to have melted, and we're ready for the next step. All the way up to medium, and add my milk and cornstarch combo. This is going to thicken up my pudding and make it pudding. It's looking like liquid.
This has been going for about 20 minutes. It is now pretty much room temperature. I'm going to switch out to the paddle and we're gonna start adding our butter. 1 tablespoon at a time. In between each tablespoon, I'm going to wait until I can't see any butter. As previously stated, Swiss meringue buttercream is not for the impatient.
This is definitely thickening up. We got ourselves a pudding here, I think.
As with making any pudding, you want to avoid clumps. Pour this hot pudding into a shallow dish and immediately put a piece of cling wrap on the top. That's going to prevent a film from forming, which later would create clumps in your pudding.
All right, I'm gonna put this pudding in the fridge and cool it down.
Look at that. It's stiff, but spreadable. I'm gonna put the vanilla in and the salt, beat it for just a little bit longer. And we're good to go. It's like a cloud, but made of egg whites and sugar and butter and vanilla. And there you have it, Swiss meringue buttercream.
So we got our pudding ready, and now it's time to bring it all together into a buttercream. Let's do it. Butter. I'm just gonna whip it till it's good, you know? Powdered sugar now. 1. Oh no, that was dumb. All right, so right now I'm just adding my cocoa powder in, which I'm also gonna sift in, because I am not allowing clumps in my buttercream for Chef Bill. Okay.
I can always tell when an American style buttercream has not been beat enough because you can taste confectioner's sugar. Make sure that's nice and smooth and incorporated together and then add in your pudding.
I don't know why I did this the least convenient way, but you know.
You want it to be a really nice, silky, pipeable texture.
Looks like buttercream. So this is a piping bag, and I know how to use a piping bag.
Goes inside.
Okay, I'm gonna use this to hopefully make it easier. Yeah, okay. All right, there. This will get the job done. So this was my first time making a chocolate pudding buttercream, and frankly, a chocolate pudding. So altogether, I'm pretty proud of myself. I could use a cupcake.
So while the ingredients that we have are simple, they're very versatile. So I thought, why not make something to decorate the cupcakes? And what's better to decorate a cupcake with than sprinkles? When making sprinkles at home, it's super simple. It's essentially royal icing that you pipe in 2 lines and let dry. So as the start of any royal icing, I've got some egg whites here. I'm just gonna whip them until they are frothy like this, and then I'm gonna add my sugar. As always when working with powdered sugar, you have to make a mess. I'm gonna start on a very low speed as to not explode confectioner's sugar all over my face and body. Once it starts to become a paste, I'm going to add in vanilla. Okay, we're looking pretty good. It's got a little gloss to it. It's nice and thick, but it's still pipeable. So I'm gonna be making 2 shades of sprinkles today. I've added 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder to my royal icing here. I'm gonna take half of that out to make a light chocolate sprinkle, and then I'm gonna make a dark chocolate sprinkle. To give it some real definition, I'm gonna go ahead and add 3 more tablespoons of cocoa powder in here. Looks good. I'm gonna pipe out thin lines. I've got a fine round tip about the width of a store-bought sprinkle. I'm gonna leave this out uncovered at room temperature to air dry, and once it's dry and crunchy, we can cut it up into sprinkles. I'm gonna kind of just let them break where they wanna break. They're all varying different sizes. We've got both shades. These are gonna go great on top of our cupcakes.
All right, let's put these cupcakes together. I have to scoop out the middles.
You're just gonna wanna scoop about an inch round circle. If you scoop too much out, your cupcake's gonna fall apart.
I think that looks good.
The great thing about a filled cupcake is you have the bit that you're scooping out. That's your snack.
Oh, onto the filling.
Put about 2 teaspoons inside of that cupcake.
A little bit off of here. And just put it in there. Make it perfect for Chef Bill, you know? And now it's time to frost them. And I don't really know what Chef Bill had in mind, so I'm just gonna kind of follow my heart here. This is my canvas. I am an artist. That kind of looks right. No one's perfect. And no cupcake is perfect. But they're all beautiful in my eyes. This one's gonna have little peaks, because now it's already got 2. Why not a few more? Don't show it to Chef Bill. Do not show it to Chef Bill. All right, I think these look great.
So I've got my cooled cupcakes, Swiss meringue buttercream, and some homemade chocolate sprinkles. We're gonna put it all together. I'm gonna ice these a la Magnolia Bakery style. 1 dollop right on the center of it. Take my offset spatula, push down in the middle, and give it a little bit of a swoosh. Maybe 2 swooshes if you don't quite get it on the first try. And now our sprinkles. They make a really nice sound. Beautiful. Varying lengths, the chocolate sprinkle on the vanilla buttercream. Looks great. They're so cute and fun. I guess that's what a cupcake should be, is fun.
All right, you know what would make these cupcakes better? A little glitz, a little glamour, a little gold.
Why do we eat gold leaf? I have no idea. It's actually kind of stupid, but I think it looks really pretty.
Fanciest cupcakes I'll ever have.
Gold leaf is super tricky. It is extremely delicate. You have to be very careful or you will ruin it all.
I'm not gonna touch it with my fingers because I've learned that lesson. I'm using my tweezers, but how am I going to do this?
You want to kind of pick it up and tear off a little bit of gold.
Is that too much gold leaf for the human body? Only 1 way to find out.
It will automatically stick to the buttercream and you're good to go.
Okay, well that looks like nothing. Oh no, come back. All right, I can't laugh. That's an extra challenge. What if I did a bigger piece? How would that look? Also kind of dumb. Oh no. Don't you do this to me right now. Okay, that feels more like something. I feel it now. And you're gonna be a very fancy cupcake, and you're gonna be a very fancy cupcake. Going again. Give it a big one, and then I'm gonna tweeze it off. I think we're pretty much there, but you know what? Going for another gold sheet. Oh no, 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 no. Like Icarus, I flew too close to the sun. All right, these cupcakes are gilded, and so am I. Let's plate them.
I'm just gonna put these on this lovely cake stand. I'm not gonna lie, I came into this not the biggest cupcake fan, but these are pretty cute. And these are my marble cupcakes with vanilla Swiss meringue and homemade chocolate sprinkles. I hope Emily enjoys them. And I can't wait to see what she did with my recipe.
All right, time to plate. I've got to choose my 5 favorite children for Chef Bill to eat. Okay, who looks beautiful today? I think this looks pretty good. I mean, did everything go perfectly? I don't know, I'm gonna have to ask Chef Bill. And this is my take on Chef Bill's recipe. Gilded German chocolate cake, caramel pecan coconut filled chocolate pudding buttercream cupcakes.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. How about those cupcakes, huh?
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Hey! Ooh. What am I looking at here?
Well, I heard your favorite cupcake was from Magnolia. Tried to do a little Magnolia styling on it. It's a marble cupcake with vanilla Swiss meringue buttercream. And I used the ingredients you gave me to make some sprinkles. I had never made sprinkles before.
Hey! So we both did something we've never done
Yeah,
before.
great.
I did like 12 things I've never done before.
Do you want to try it?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Swiss buttercream. Mm-hmm. It's really good. This is very much like my favorite kind of cupcake also because I like the vanilla and the chocolate, so you're kind of like
Good.
hitting on all cylinders.
Right.
These sprinkles are so good. Wait, I'm gonna try one on its own. Super crunchy. Sweet. You really did a great job. Let's just
Thank
eat
you.
more of these.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
forget about mine.
No,
I'm sure they're fine.
Those
but
look great. I never know how to eat a cupcake.
I think I'm just gonna go in mouth first and see what happens.
Okay, great. It was great. It tastes just like mine.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. You really toasted your pecans. The cake is tender and moist, and your pudding buttercream is luscious.
Good recipe.
Thank you. Admittedly, I'm not a cupcake person, but these are really good. I'm pretty sold on the cupcake.
Wow. A change of heart. That's beautiful.